conversation topic today? Relationships. So we're talking about relationships today. We left off last time talking about the economy.
Yes.
Double dip recession.
Yes. Very serious stuff, y'all.
And one of the things that we left off saying, I'm sorry, I'm perspiring, so forgive me, please. I'm dapping myself. I'm 40 plus,
42?
so I'm allowed. Yes, 42, and I'm allowed. It's not a hot flash. It's hot outside. And I just dashed inside, so forgive me for dapping myself. But anyway, we talked about a lot of the things that happen to people as a result of double dip recessions. And one of the things we said was, don't let your relationship become a casualty of the double dip recession, right?
Yeah, and look, this is not scripted. You guys know this is not a scripted show, right? We pick a topic and then we just flow. So the deal is right. I think people need to remember that they're in love, or that they were in love, and they got married. When they got married, they were in love. And I think people have a tendency to forget that they were in love at a time when things start to happen and things start to develop. And look, I'm a guy. My wife just finished going into a thing about don't say anything about male chauvinistic da. I mean, I am who I am. And I didn't know that I was one, but...
Yeah, you did.
The only way I knew I was one... Oh, the air just came on for you.
It feel good.
It feel good for you?
Okay, yeah.
And let me tell you... Most of the things, and I guess maybe, and I don't want to stereotype in men in America, boom, 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 but yeah, I grew up in a way that I guess male chauvinistic, but you know, what I wanted to say to men, remember that you're in love and remember who you're in love with. I mean, and look, it is what it is. Well, I mean, I get dreamy eye every time I look in your face, you know, and regardless when things go wrong, then things will go wrong, and we want you to know that things will go wrong. And when we're dealing with a double dip recession, that means things are going to be tight. And I know statistically that the divorce rate is going up as a result of this double dip recession.
Yeah, and he's right. It is going to go up because when money gets tight in the house, people start to point fingers, right? It's your fault. No, it's your fault, and all that kind of stuff. And if both of y'all were in the house and money got tight, it was both of y'all's fault. Okay. And one of the things I mentioned.
Despite that Coach bag that you bought the other day, man, that bought that Coach bag.
Anyway.
No, because I know, men, you know, you get impulses and you're out shopping and you know you got a bill to pay and you're running around at the mall and you saw Coaches on sale and you go out and buy a Coach bag for yourself.
He's trying to be funny, right? So he's switching it and he's saying what he says. Now, I don't do that stuff, okay?
No.
I don't do that stuff.
No, not at all.
I don't do that stuff.
You don't?
I've never done it. Even when things were tighter than tight, I don't believe in doing that stuff. I'm not a shopper really anyway, so.
I'm way better of a shopper than she is.
He's the shopper, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't start pointing fingers and try to figure out how to work together. You know what I mean? Because you can get frustrated. You know, things got to be paid. I was going to say, I talked the last webisode about Zig Ziglar, and he said some things about, you know, he talked about the redhead, who's his wife, and he said, you know, there were times when the lights got turned off, when he had to turn back in his car, when it looked like they were about to be foreclosed on in their house, all different kind of stuff happening. And he said all the redhead ever said was, I love you and I believe in you. And he said that he knew, why are you looking at me like that?
Wasn't going to say anything. I mean, I had some thoughts in my head and all that kind of stuff, but that's nice. That's nice.
Anyway, he said that's what she used to say. And because she said that, even when he was being completely stupid, because you know how sometimes they do stuff and we don't get it. They seem like, you know, I put a post on Facebook the other day that said, women are from Venus and men are nuts. Because, I mean, you know, we just don't get it, some of the stuff. I mean, just like you guys don't get us. And I did say that. Right, you guys don't get us. We don't get each other because we speak two totally different languages. Completely. So I think one of the fail-safes to dealing with tough times is to make sure you listen to each other, to keep the lines of communication open. And even if he's doing something, let me say this real quick, okay? What's the matter?
No, nothing.
Okay, let me say this real quick. And this is what I firmly believe, especially if you are married. If you picked him for better or for worse, and you believe, if you're a Christian, okay, and you believe that the man is supposed to be taking care of the household, that you, and this is a hard thing to learn, especially when you've been independent for a long time, and I know I'm still learning it. You got to be okay with the decisions he makes to go forward. Now, if you think he's a complete moron and an idiot, then you probably shouldn't have married him in the first place.
Right, so now you got to follow the idiot along the way.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. But you said something very interesting, right? And I didn't need to write it down to remember my place. But you said that you got to communicate and you got to listen. Well, it brings me to this thing that I've been on lately, right? The thing that Lewis Black told. I don't know if you guys know Lewis Black. He's a comedian, and he's a little, he's a little bit older than me, not much older. But he told a story about how he realized his parents were in their 80s and 90s now, and how come they got along so well, and how come they were together for over 60 years. And he said that he realizes that they don't really hear each other.
No, he didn't say that. He
said
listening. They don't listen to each other.
Right, I'm trying to dress it up. So, I mean, and I guess to get away from the joke of it, the comedian side of it, is that I don't think you have to answer to every single question or every single banter that goes on in a relationship. I don't think that every single thing that I say you have to respond to.
So why do you walk around the house and say, "Did you hear me? What I just said?" Well, how come you're not answering me if you heard me? Why you say that? Why you say that? Why does he say that?
And I think that that's an excellent point. You don't have to, though. Still, even though I am saying that, you still don't have to.
I don't have to.
And look, and I know that I listen to absolutely
listen to anything I say. As a matter of fact, everything I say to him, I can ask him about it 2 days later. Say, "Don't you remember we have an appointment to do this?" Or "Don't you remember we have to go and sign this person up?" Or whatever. And he look at me like the lights just got turned off and say, "Huh?" So
not on camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he doesn't listen to me, but he swears that this thing that Lewis Black,
his parents, told him.
Jack Black, whatever his name is.
No,
he swears that this is the way to go, which is completely ignoring your spouse when they're talking to you.
But see, that's not what he said. So you don't have to.
I know that's not what he said.
Yeah.
But that's what you translated it to me.
Right.
That's right. But
look,
that's not going to help y'all do the double dip recession.
No. But we do have to make sure we control the things we say. Remember, this is the lady, and I have to talk from the man's perspective.
Do your thing.
This is the one we picked. And I mean, I know that I have a trophy, and I'm lucky to have the lady that I love. I mean, I know for a fact that you are my angel sent from God. I'm clear on that. So I have to always remember that, even though sometimes I'm going around, she's in another room, and I might be, making gestures and things like, but I have to remember that this is the one that I chose, and she is a gift from God, because I'm clear on that. So, and I'm saying all that to say this, because I don't want to belabor the point. While you're going through tough times, if you're going to go through tough times, and if you know, our producer and my wife both, we talked about different things that you can do in order to make money, okay? But still, when you're even working on a project, remember it takes time. So everyone has to be patient with everyone,
right? And
understand. But remember, always don't get into this thing where you say something nasty and then she says something nastier, and this is ridiculous. I mean, somebody has to be the bigger person and recognize the fact that you were in love with this person. You would have never thought to say the things that people can have a tendency to say. So please be careful. And I mean, can I?
Yeah, I mean, be careful. And ladies, we can get, we bought the story that they're supposed to take care of us, and some of us, y'all, don't do nothing to help. I don't believe in that. I think when they're tough times, everybody's got to pull their weight. Everybody's got to make it happen. This is not the 1960s and 50s. One person can't just work necessarily and make it happen. If your man is out there trying to make a business, we talked about having a home-based business as one of the ways you can deal with the double dip recession and tough times. Don't be that one standing in the house saying, "Why you got to go to another meeting? Why you got to do that? Why you got to make another phone call?" Say, "How can I help you make another phone call? Can we go to the meeting together?" Be involved in it, because that's what he's going to remember. When it gets gooder and his home-based business is flourishing and he's bringing in 5 and 6 figures from his network marketing business a month, and you didn't help, and you were trying to be a nuisance during the whole time, don't expect him to smile in your face. I don't think you should expect it. And I'm not a therapist. I'm not any of that stuff. I've been here on the planet for a couple of years, and I've seen things happen. I've seen women take things for granted, and don't take them for granted, because there is always another person sitting out there who wishes they had what you have. So listen to him, support him. Even if you don't understand it, still be supportive to what he's doing. Again, like you said, if you picked him, you know, I'm writing this, well, I finished writing this book, How Not to Be Married by Your 36th Birthday, guaranteed, okay? And in this book, start dealing with the myths and the things that we believe, like, tell them you want to get married the first time you meet them, all kind of stuff like that. We got to dispel some of these things and really get on top of who we are, even before we get married, so we can be the most solid, the best in relationship. You got to give more of what you want to receive.
Hello.
So if you lazy and you don't want to do nothing, don't expect him to do anything, okay? Because all you're going to get in life is what you give. So if you're going to give support, then you'll give support. Get support.
And please don't expect to get from him or her what you had from another relationship in the beginning. Because always remember, a friend of mine always said, keep the tape going. Because that's why you're not with that person now. So don't do the expecting game from the previous relationship. Remember, leave all those suitcases in the past, and now you are new. But I wanted to bring up Zig Ziglar again, right? Because he did a wonderful job of showing us over the years different men that were part of different companies, not just network marketing, but Zig really, he pioneered a lot of motivational talks for businesses and all that kind of stuff. And he did set a strong example of how to be a good, godly man. Now, I don't care if you Christian, Muslim, Buddha, however you are. I mean, Lola and I, we're Christians, but everyone do whatever you do. But he set an example of truly how to be a man and do the right thing by that woman. And let me tell you, Zig, if you know his story, now Zig is probably in his mid-80s now?
He's 83.
Okay, so it's in the early 80s. Zig didn't get his career started until he was in his high 40s, right? So I want you guys to understand that there's still a great deal of hope in what you can do and what you can materialize. So support, especially if it's the woman versus to the man, support that mechanism. For women from men to women, support her in her movement and find a way that you can make it work on the same accord. Right now, my wife, she does a company, and I do my own company. So for the first time in our 5-year history, we're kind of separate, but we say that she does 80% of her business, and I help her 20%. And I have with my business, I do 80% of my business, and she helps me 20. So it's an 80-20, 20-80. But that's the way you got to find that yin and that yang, because it is absolutely possible. Now, I want you to know that as much of an angel I am, and everyone that knows me know how much of an angel and a sweetheart and a calm, collected, cool guy that I am. Yeah. From time to time when she just, goes off and, we don't have it always perfect from her side to mine. I mean, I do what I can. So, you got to know, you got to be able to work with these things. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait until you're 60 in order to be nice. Wasn't that nice?
Yeah. No, you don't have to wait until you're 60 to be nice.